SMT Nation, we back. Nation, this article from Dano, you guys know Randall Jr., interesting title, The Ongoing Debate Around MVNOs, Cable, and Arbitrage. It's actually a really good article. Definitely give it a full read, and, maybe even come back to this video after you've read it, and offer me some commentary here. Anyways, I think we start first with the verbiage that's in the title. All right, so definition of arbitrage, and what they referred to in this article as arbitraging to conclusions. You basically have two camps when it comes to MVNOs from cable, right? And bundling services between like the home ISP and the mobile service provider. All right, so Cable Craig, Moffett Nathanson, they discuss arbitrage in relation to the difference it costs to serve rural areas. And what they mean by this is you have some cable ISPs, namely like Comcast being cited here by Moffett Nathanson, where the CEO said that just 3% of their footprint by square mileage represents 60% of the mobile traffic. So in that case, yes, that would be absolutely major arbitrage. There's a huge disconnect or value within that arbitrage, because Comcast basically has most of the mobile usage in a very small locale, which means they could offload a lot of that traffic just by simply building some kind of a semblance of a small cell network where that usage is, right? So they can easily do these like strand mount things to their, what are those? The aerials you guys see on the streets, the cables and stuff like that. So that's not hard to address. They could do with mobile hotspotting, or excuse me, the Wi-Fi hotspotting. That seems to be carrying some traffic. That's the way that Cable Craig is looking at it. Now, a separate analyst, Doug Dawson, is saying that it's a little bit different in his respect. He's talking about the MVNO business as arbitrage, right? So when that, he means like basically you have a provider who's at the mercy of their relationship with the network service, operator. So in this case, it'd be Verizon, right? They're the host network. So you guys know where I stand on this. I think Verizon wants to continue to play ball, right? And I think that helps them reduce their losses that they would be giving up to AT&T and Verizon. So they're good with that. They don't have to drop their pricing. They let cable compete in pricing. They'll just host it at a discount, right? So there's that. And then with respect to Moffett Nathanson, I don't believe 95% of what that guy says, or whoever those guys are at Moffett Nathanson. They've been wrong on so many different levels. I don't even care at this point, right? But it is an arbitrage play if that is indeed the case, where you got 60% of the, usage within a 3%, geo footprint. That's pretty staggering if that's true. I personally just don't believe it, right? I don't believe cable, and I don't believe Cable Craig, but it's interesting nonetheless. So where I think the arbitrage comes in at a greater extent is like with Charter and Spectrum, as they build out a CBRS small cell network with strand mounts. They've got relationships with vendors who provide gear, right? So like Samsung and Nokia, to provide them with those things on the cheap, right? And they can easily scale it. And that takes away usage from the Verizon network, and that improves their margins. So to me, I think that's where the true arbitrage is. It's the fact that if big cable can maybe offload half of their usage on the Verizon network onto their native network, well, now I think we're talking real arbitrage. Now there's value, and it makes sense to invest in cable if you're looking at it from a mobile network operator play. But we have started to see some of that pace slow down a little bit, and we have seen fixed wireless access kicking big cable's ass. Those are dynamics that are not arbitrage, right? So what do you guys think? Again, give this article a read. Come back here, give me your comments. What do you think's right, Doug Dawson or Cable Craig? What do you think is the real arbitrage? Where do you think the value is? I know from an investor standpoint, I don't invest in any of these companies, but if I did, I'm big on the mobile network operators. Owning the network, double dipping through relationships, I like that position better. Don't forget, Big Cable's giving away free lines. It's not a sustainable business model. Even a heavily discounted line at $30 a line, you're going to have to get a lot of that Verizon usage over to your native small cells in order to make that work and be sustainable. What do you guys think? Sound off in the comment section below. You are the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard.